Hey everyone, welcome back to the F3 Motorsport YouTube channel. Today we're going to be reflecting, recapping, reacting to the F3 Feature Race here at Monaco, the 2025 Monaco Grand Prix. Let's just get straight into it. So first off we had Ramos. After his accident yesterday, he had a bit of a suspension issue, had a bit of a refix on his car, which made him start from the pit lane. So a bit annoying for him ruined his race, but yeah, what can you do? Mary Boyer, starting in third place in his cam post, very aggressive off the line, cutting the first corner, trying to get around Belinsky to get behind his teammate Solov. Then again, he was also very aggressive into some corners, so Belinsky to be very defensive, kind of keep him behind him, which did fine. Benavides cut the first corner, and so he got a 10-second penalty, which we saw often for, I think it was you saw same thing in the sprint race yesterday. So, I mean, he looked like he made some good moves. He went up 4 places in the first lap, but it's like, okay, how did he do that then? There was no replay. And then he found out, okay, actually he just cut corner and didn't give any places back. So, maybe not the best moves, but the precedent's been set, you know. The rest of the series know now that if you cut the first corner, you don't give the positions back. Like we saw Stan and Sean do in the first corner of the race, in the feature race, you're going to get 10-second good penalties. So, if you want to do it, it's your own choice, you know what the consequences it's going to be. So, we had Del Pino also having front wing damage on the first lap after a small collision with Marangeli going into the turn right before the tunnel. And he ended up retiring. So, yeah, it seemed like Marangeli was hitting everyone today, because he also had an incident with, I think it was Brandon Badua later on in the race. But yeah, after that, Jared Z had a puncture. No one hit him or anything, it's just his own fault. And he retired, it was like 10 laps in. A bit unlucky for Jared Z, but he was at the back anyway. He wasn't going to get points, you know, not much at stake there. And they made everyone, for the next, 10 laps, had oscillating lap times between 0 to 2 seconds behind the car in front. So sometimes you'd see, Mary Boyer close up to, half a second, then drop off to 1.8 seconds, and then that was the same, basically, all the way down the pack. So, it didn't seem like anyone could overtake, really, because there wasn't any tyre offset, there wasn't any kind of, difference in tyre, there wasn't any difference in strategy, so it looked like it was going to be heading towards a very boring race, because everyone was kind of in, a DRS train the whole way up, and there's not many DRS zones in general, so it looked like it was going to be a boring race. But then, Solov gassed it in front. I think he pulled up a 7-second gap by lap 17, so with 10 laps left, 7-second gap, in first to second. There's also a gap between 5th, Tramnitz, and 6th, Leon, of around 4 seconds, so another big gap forming there. And also between, I think it was 11th in Kamara and 12th in Ugo Chukwu. So another big gap forming there out of the points. But then all stuff happened when Noel Leon had a crash, pushing Kamara into the points, because Leon was in 6th, so he dropped down and all the guys below him went up, and then Kamara in 11th got into the points. But it brought out the safety car though, so all the cars kind of packed in together, and you must think, okay, how did Leon crash into the wall? He's an experienced guy. It seemed like Vert maybe put his back winning or front wing in there into the first corner, spun out Leon's corner, but also gave Vert wing damage. But he didn't pit. Wurtz was out there with his wing basically torn off, but he carried on, which meant that when we had a restart, everyone was backed up to the 9s, which meant that Kamara, I think he had a collision with the wall or something, he lost his tyre before we even got going. He managed to get into the pits, and they managed to retrieve his tyre, so no more safety car. But on the actual restart, the front, 5 all boosted off into the distance, but behind Wurtz, there was chaos. I mean, everyone else was behind him trying to get past, but they couldn't because it's Monaco, you know. Even if you have front wing damage, as long as you make it around the corner in general, you're fine. So there was, I think, Ugo Chukwu, Benavides, Badua, all got into contact before Wurtz eventually understeered into a wall because he had no front wing. So, but I think even before that, he just cut a chicane because he just was like, yeah, I'm not making this, let's just go ahead, whatever. So I think he'd accepted his fate, but at the minute there was chaos behind him, which just kind of ruined 3 or 4 drivers' races, but also give other drivers opportunity, you know, like Louis Sharp, who I think went from 14th up to 9th, which in Monaco, where you can't overtake, it's good moves, you know. I think one of the moves he made on track, the rest were collisions or people were retiring, so fair enough. But yeah, Badua and Wirtz were top one on track again, so there was a safety car with a couple of laps left, and it came in, and we saw Solov boost it again. And Solov looked fine this whole weekend. I mean, there was no stopping him, the Bulgarian. Maybe it's just because Belinsky behind him used up all his tyres during the race, which meant that comparatively, Solov was so fast. But I don't know, Belinsky's a experienced driver. I think he won at Formula Region Oceania, you know. Maybe he was just a little bit off it, and there was no tyre degradation. Maybe Solov was just really fast. Either way, on the restart, Voisin tried to get past Boyer, didn't have enough lap time to. Boyer had DRS as well behind Belinsky, so no change up there for the front three of Solov, Boyer, and Belinsky, with Belinsky being in second, obviously. Sorry, the Kamara incident with the tyre happened on the second safety car. Sorry, but still, it was a weird issue. A very weird thing. I think Triton should investigate that, because you can't be having the championship leader just lose a tyre when he's in the points. You know, they could have easily gotten 9th, 8th, or even 7th if he kind of had that kind of first lap ramp up of the tyre that we saw with like Voisin. Either way, Solov extended his lead and kind of boosted off in the distance. Kamara still leads, but Solov and then the German guy, what's his name? Come on, Tramnitz, Boyer, they're all closing in. So next weekend, Kamara really needs to have a good weekend in Barcelona. He's lucky that we're going straight into another weekend, 3 on the bounce, so he can kind of put those worries to bed straight away. You know, on Friday he'll be back out in practice and qualifying. That's 5 days away. Not a long time to dwell on his mistakes and the team's mistakes. But either way, my winners are obviously the Campos team getting a double podium in the feature race, and the Rodin team, who surprisingly, like Belinsky and Voisin, had great races in both races, and so did Sharp, coming out of the top 12 each race to score solid points for the team and also for himself. I mean, they didn't look great, the team, in the first 3 rounds of the year, and also even last year, but in the European races, they're showing up. Hopefully they bring the same again in Barcelona next weekend. So yeah, good winners there. Some losers, obviously Kamara, Benavides had a rough weekend, so did Ramos. But these things are going to happen, and as long as you bounce back fine, all will be good. So either way, those are my reflections on the race. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. What are your reflections? What have you learnt from this weekend? I'll be doing F2 in a few hours, so stay tuned for that. Maybe it's already out, and you can give that a watch straight after this video. Anyway, thank you for watching. Please subscribe if you like the video. Peace.